guys, welcome back to another video on E46. Today we are going to be working on the coupe. As you can see, we already got it set up, all jacked up on the ramps, whatnot. If you watched the video or a few videos ago, depending on when I post it, we did the trans mounts on the Z3, and those were just mounts that I had forgotten I had stashed away in my parts bin, so went ahead and throw those on. But with that GARAGISTIC bigger order that I did a few months back, we had gotten some of the other small stuff in there, and then we also got the engine mounts and trans mounts specifically for the coupe. So today we're going to be throwing those on. We're going to start with the trans mounts. I'm not really going to go into too much detail about it, since it's pretty much going to be the same across the E platforms for how the install and everything. And then if you want a more in-depth one, you can go back and watch my Z3 video with where we just did that, specifically just the trans mounts. So I'm just going to kind of run through the trans mounts real quick on the coupe, and then I'll go into a little more detail with the engine mounts. Alrighty, it's a different day, but we're moving on with the poly mounts going in the E46. We did the trans mounts, those are done. Now we're going to go ahead and step up to the engine mounts. If you can see them, there's one down there, passenger side. And then down there, might be hard to see, but the light's catching it right now. That's the driver's side. So the first thing we're gonna have to do is go underneath and remove this oil oil pan cover plate. Once this comes off, we'll have a lot more access to the engine mounts. As you can see, there's one right there, right past the tie rod. It's right there, and then it's gonna be the same on the other side. But once we move this, we'll have a lot easier access from this side of the control arm to get in there. Maybe be able to get the top nut from the bottom is my hope, but if not, I have enough extensions we can reach it. And then you need to pull this off so that you can jack the engine up off of the oil pan as well. So we'll go ahead and start removing the bolts that hold this in. There's 8 of them. So it's going to be a 16 mil socket for these bolts that go in here. Alright, so as you can see, we got that oil pan cover off. It just bolts into the subframe at a few points, and then it just covers the oil pan. Pretty nice piece to have. Just a little bit extra protection. You can see that mine was kind of dented, and I'll show you later. It's kind of dented in the front from hitting some debris on the highway, so it's always just nice to have the extra protection. Your oil pan's an important part, right? So, but now that we got that off, what we're gonna be doing is putting a 2x4 right here, and then jacking the engine up just enough so that we can get our engine mounts are right here. So pretty much our next step is just to take the nuts off of them. So we'll take the nut off the bottom there, and then the nut off the top. I think the nut off the top is going to be harder just because of, you know, how everything is set up right now. This one should be relatively easy. I can just run a universal joint in here, and I should be able to get to that one. The top nut we might have to get off from the engine bay, the top of the engine bay. But my only issue with that is going to be the top one on this side is going to be kind of a bitch to get to, just because there's, you know, some air stuff in the way, the intake hose and shit like that. But we'll go ahead and see what we can do. So it looks like it's going to be a 16 mil for the nuts. For the engine mount nuts, looks like it's going to be a 16. I just hit it with a it's got a universal joint on it right now to pop these bottoms, and we'll see if we can get them. There we go. Got that bottom one off now. Then we're going to step to the other side and do the exact same thing. Sweet. Alrighty, now that one's off as well. So now we'll see about pulling off the top one. Alright, so now we're going to be taking the top nut off. As you can see it in there, you're going to need some extensions, and then probably a U-joint. There we go. Got onto it. Sweet. Got that one to break. See, that one's coming up. Alrighty, now you see that one's off. And this is the side I'm thinking we're gonna have some difficulties with, just because it is kind of a shitty area. I might just have to pull off the intake boot to get to it, because I don't think, I mean, I might be able to. I'd rather not take the boot off, so we'll see. Looks like we're actually on it, so we might be good. I'm gonna put another extension on. And then just hope for the best, I guess. We're still on it, so let's see. see if we can get it. I think we got it. Yep, sweet. So that was a lot better than I thought it was gonna be honest with you. I thought we were gonna take all this shit apart, but turns out you can just snake a shit ton of extensions in there and then it should come out pretty good. There we go, that one's out too. Hell yeah. So far, so good. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do is just jack up the engine by putting a 2x4 underneath there and then throwing it on the jack to disperse the weight across the oil pan, and then we'll start slowly going up with it. So I want the 2x4 to run, you know, as far as it can onto the on the oil pan to disperse as much weight as possible. So I'm gonna try and position it so that it's touching as much surface area of the oil pan as possible, because I'm not trying to, you know, I'm not trying to completely ruin this fucking oil pan, but we'll see. And we gotta keep an eye on our engine mounts and see if when they clear so we can slide those out. Alright, I had to readjust my wood block because I put it a little too far forward and it was gonna hit on the subframe and stuff like that. So now we've got it, you can hear it, that's the engine mount free, but we still need to raise it more so that we can actually pull it out. So gotta be careful while we're doing this. You don't hit nothing. I'm just trying to jack it up enough to get the engine mount itself free. So I'm just going back and forth, trying to check it. We're close, but we're still not all the way there yet. So we're just gonna slowly keep going up. So, little update, got it jacked up enough to get the driver's side one out. You can see it right there. Kind of a pain in the ass. The passenger side is still kind of giving me issues, so I just decided to check this side first. Well, after I was messing with that side for a while, I just decided to check the driver's side, and it was looser, so we went ahead and were able to shimmy that out. And now we're gonna go ahead and put the new GARAGISTIC one in. So we're gonna go ahead and throw these in. This is the top side and this is the bottom side. You can tell because that has a slot in it and it fits in a cutout on here. So go ahead and slide this in as best we can. Hopefully it doesn't give us too much of an issue, but we'll have to see. Alright, well, we finally got both of the mounts in. The driver's side was a lot easier. I ended up kind of having to do some sketchy maneuvering to get the passenger side in. So I put a jack on the oil pan and then put another jack that kind of wedged part of the oil pan and then the engine mount because this side's probably heavier, I'm assuming, but once you go up, the driver's side will lift a lot higher than the passenger side will. And then after that, if you don't have anything that's pushing the passenger side directly up, it's gonna max out and you're just gonna start lifting the body up. So that's mostly what took the longest, was just trying to figure out how to get the passenger side high enough to slide everything in, because these GARAGISTIC ones are a bit longer than the OE plus the OEs are, you know, a little bit compressed from having all the mileage on them. So, but we finally got that all jacked up and seated right, put some Loctite on the threads for both of them, and now we're just gonna start taking the weight off of it. Had to come up a little bit with the jack to slide that piece back in. On the passenger side, there's gonna be like a metal covering for it, and that's just because of the exhaust. It's the exhaust side, so it's gonna get hot. So I just went ahead and reinstalled that, and then we're gonna start coming down now. All right, it's a new day. We got all the engine mounts all finished up. Just got the nuts tightened down. Again, I don't have the torque wrench that'll go as low as the setting. I can't remember off the top of my head what a GARAGISTIC recommends for the torque for them. I believe it's something below 20 foot-pounds. I want to say like 12 to 15 maybe, or around 18 foot-pounds. You'd have to just check on their website, but yeah, I put the nuts on, so that's all good. I've already started it and ran it a few times with the new mounts, so I kind of know what to expect, but we'll go ahead and start it up and then kind of give you, let you see what it feels like and sounds like on the interior with those. So the car's still warming up. I don't know if you can hear it necessarily or kind of see a little bit of vibration in the wheel and whatnot, but it definitely adds, you know, a little bit of NVH, the noise vibration harmonics type stuff, mostly just at cold start. But once it idles up and the car, you know, gets warm, like I said, and kind of settles, it most of that will go away. But overall, the majority of the feeling, feedback wise, that you get once you're actually driving down the road, accelerating everything, it feels really good. So I can't complain. Definitely a little bit more labor intensive than I thought it was going to be. It took me quite a few hours to try and get that passenger side in, just because once I was jacking it up, the engine wanted to go like that instead of lift up evenly, so I had to work through that, but nothing too bad. So definitely a good thing if you're trying to just get your car set up a little bit more for that driver's feel, that feedback. And if it's not necessarily your daily, you know, you could go with something harder, obviously, but this is definitely a good medium for what I want to do with the car, and you know, can't complain at all. So another good GARAGISTIC install day, and we'll see you guys next time. Thank y'all for watching. Take care.